You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. A little different today. I got my new friend, Ozzy, from the Smithfield Fire Department, and Lieutenant Potenza is here as my guest. So welcome.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us today. So Ozzy, what do you think about Channel 12? Do you like it? It's a good boy. Huh? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So Joe, let's tell my viewers about Ozzy and why Ozzy is here today.
So Ozzy's the first fire department therapy dog in the state of Rhode Island. What that means is he pretty much reports to work with me. He's around the guys and girls all day, and he just the sense of having a dog around is it's better for the well-being of every firefighter on the job.
Yeah.
How I got into this was about 7 years ago. There was a need for to address the mental health issue in the fire service. There's more firefighters dying nowadays from suicide at their own hands than there is in structure fires. It's annually there's about 100 firefighters dying from suicide. So as a state, the IFF decided to take it into their own hands instead of having a third party come in and take control of it. So we started doing firefighters taking care of firefighters. What that means is it's all active listening, talking, getting third parties involved if need be. But 90% of the time is about just listening. What do you have on your mind, John? Let me listen, and that pretty much resolves most issues. If it has to go to a professional side, we have resources that we've interviewed and constantly always growing as far as resources.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that the firefighter, when he comes in front of a car accident or something that's really horrific, it stays in your head.
Yep.
It stays in your
true.
head, and having a dog like this that you can go back and just pet and, be friends with.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, as far as morale on the job, lowering your blood pressure, just the presence of a dog, it sounds silly, but it's your best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, they always listen, always want to. He's seen himself.
That's all right. He's
Good
looking
boy.
at himself in the camera. He thinks he's
Can we sit?
he's a star. But Joe, it really amazes me how, and I've been around Ozzy a lot.
Yeah.
It really amazes me how good he is, how attentive he is, how he listens to you, other than the wife and everything else. But you have two girls of your own.
2 girls, 14 and 12. Yep.
Yeah. So tell me how this all progressed. Is it something that, let me just get the dog and let me see what I could do with it?
No. I mean, there was a lot of thought that went into it. As far as that team throughout the state, the member assistants, we've never had a dog on the team. And the 5 of us that are on the team in Smithfield, which there's about 50 total, or maybe a little bit more in the state of Rhode Island. So 5, out of the 50, which we're lucky to have the Smithfield that, council and chief and town manager that we have to be so proactive with this. Ozzy was initially our family pet. Ozzy's personality from day one was just so sympathetic and wanted to be a part of
He's still seeing himself.
Oh yeah.
Ozzy, over here, bud.
Good boy. Good boy. So right off the bat we knew Ozzy had this special personality that might click well for the team. So I went to the chief, went to the town manager, as well as the council, and we asked, we inquired about it as far as training him to help the guys and girls on the job. With that came about 1.5 years of training under his belt. A lot of time, 2 to 3 weeks a week was going. All different types of certifications, AKC certifications. It's been a lot of work, but it's so rewarding with him and to see him kind of grow to the guys and girls. I mean, when I walk into the station, they don't see me anymore. They see Ozzy.
Ozzy,
yeah.
So you're like an afterthought.
I'm completely afterthought, which is completely fine with me.
Now the 5 guys that are on your team, right? You stay always with that one particular team, so Ozzy gets used to the 5
I mean, Ozzy's pretty much assigned to me. So Ozzy's assigned to me full time. If I'm at the station, he's at the station. If I'm at home, he's at home with me. We will utilize him with the team. So if there's another town or city that needs a little bit of help from us, which we always resource ourselves out to other towns
Oh, that's great.
that might need us. And he goes along with us. He's able to work the whole room. If we go in maybe a post-incident and we're talking to the crowd or guys and girls on the job, we're not trying to critique the situation. We're just telling you what you feel right now is perfectly normal for abnormal situation.
Right.
You know, a trauma situation that we're not meant to see that.
Right.
You know, you think of, you know, maybe vets in the war that have to see different things that they have to go through. And the stigma that was surrounded around that is now kind of going to the back of the room and really starting to address it.
And what about cost?
Cost.
You know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, I like to get my dog too, but I know that, you know, the cost.
It's a sense.
Is it your cost?
So the town has picked up his training, which is great. They've been super supportive as far as getting his training, as far as me using my own time, I always go out my way. I don't ask for any reimbursement from the town as far as doing the training. And then as far as his vet bills, his food, that all comes from me still. His microphone got lost. But I mean, the cost it's a good cost, but it's so worth it. If one person's saved from Ozzy being around and kind of being there for them, it's priceless.
Yeah, and I think too, and I got to give kudos to the chief and the council at the time that did that, and also the town manager for being proactive.
Oh, so much.
Because, you know, there was a lot of years that went by that guys and girls didn't have the opportunity
Absolutely not.
as what you do for your team.
So when I got on 19 years ago, to talk about the call or to talk about how you felt was not something you did at the firehouse table.
Yeah.
You know, we call it the firehouse table because, you know, top of the morning, you do your truck checks, you put your gear in the truck, and then you sit at the table for an hour and you kind of talk about the shift before, the shift coming up, what you're going to do that day, and then that's the time when you're kind of bouncing stuff back and forth, and that's the time when you have the opportunity to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something we did 19 years ago.
Right, and it's a whole different ball game now, especially, you know, you're on Recovery TV.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of overdoses. I mean, we just got the numbers the other day in the town of Smithfield.
Yep.
You know, 58 overdoses, 10 deaths, 23, I think, Narcans, and 17 that didn't want any treatment. But the days go by, and you never know what you're facing. Every morning when you get out of bed, you don't know if it's a car wreck, if it's a fire, if it's an overdose, if it's a suicide. You don't know.
You don't know. And you don't know how it's going to affect you.
Right.
You know, I've had horrible stuff I've seen in my career, and some of the stuff that you didn't think would affect you affected you more so than the other things.
Right.
So you really don't know the mindset you're in at the time you're in, how it's going to affect you.
Yeah. Do you think, Joe, that, you know, once, I know you have 19 years in and you only have another 45 to go, but do you think that this is something that every department should have?
100%. Like I said, he's the first in Rhode Island. Because of how proactive our town has been. But as far as other communities, other states, other places, California, I know there's a lot of fire departments with teams with dogs. Massachusetts is probably a good handful of them. If there's any town or city that, you know, wants to reach out to me and I can help them with the, you know, protocol as far as getting that place, because it's a lot of work that kind of went in the forefront to get to where we are at today.
Right. So, Ozzy, we got to take a break. Are you okay with that? And we'll give you a treat while we're on break. You've been watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back with Ozzy and the Lieutenant right after these messages.
Now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. My guest today is Ozzy. Ozzy is a firefighter in Smithfield. Along with Lieutenant Potenza is his handler, Ozzy. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to have you here. And what do you think about the location? Do you like it? Good boy. Good boy. Lieutenant, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So, you know, in the first part of the show, we talked about the dog, the training. But I want my viewers to know about the issue with your daughters, your wife, the crating issue. You know, I got to give you some home.
So when we got him it's going to be 3 years as of November 11th, I think. And my wife was not the biggest dog person in the beginning. So it was promised that Ozzy was going to be crated, sleep in the crate at night, and I was going to take care of the dog, feed it, so on and so forth. So as Ozzy got more and more love from the family members, Ozzy slowly moved onto the bed, and I think I ended up in the crate myself.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, it went back and forth, and the love of the family with Ozzy slowly took over, and he hasn't been in a crate since he got started at the fire station.
You told me earlier, when he comes to the fire station with you and the alarm goes off, what happens to Ozzy? Does he jump on the truck? What does he do?
No, but how much he wants to. Ozzy is trained to hear the tones, and when he hears that tones, he runs to his crate, and he stays in the crate until we come back from the call. There's been a couple instances when we've used him on calls. What I mean by that is post-call. The chief has reached out to us, myself and Ozzy, and asked us to maybe go talk to a person that witnessed something traumatic. And he's been a star, even in those situations where he was able to sit down with a couple people and actually
calm them down,
get their blood pressure down, and a horrible day turned into one of the better days, of being with Ozzy.
Now, you told me a little bit about the girls, your 2 daughters, and the ride to go pick them up. Tell us a little bit about that.
So when we first got Ozzy, going back 3 years ago, we were promising the girls after the first of the year we were going to get Ozzy. And then about 2 weeks before we were supposed to pick up Ozzy, we took them for a ride to Famous Pizza, just the Rhode Island, Connecticut line. And instead of actually going to Famous Pizza, we started wandering off, and so totally blew their mind, and we went to go pick up Ozzy that day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they were able to pick pick of the litter with Ozzy, and he was the #1 in all 3 of their eyes.
That's great. Now, other departments, you said earlier about other departments, sometimes they reach out to you.
Yeah.
What is the most eccentric thing that you got a call to go do with Ozzy?
So I think that's that call that, again, that girl that had unfortunately witnessed somebody get hit by a vehicle. The chief has reached out to me right after. And I mean, personally, the proof's in the pudding. So that day that the chief reached out to me, she sat with him for about 10-15 minutes. And verbatim, what she said was, this went from the worst day of my life to the best day of my life. It completely changed her whole day around. And I mean, again, that stuck with me. You realize a lot of times you don't see the benefits of Ozzy because everything's all well and good. You're not seeing anything negative. So as far as a team and as far as Ozzy, it's been nothing but positive in my eye.
Well, I know that now our police department has their own Gracie.
Correct.
They get along?
Yeah, they've done some training together. They've kind of gone through the schools together. They do get along. Ozzy's a little bit bigger than Gracie. And when people that meet Gracie goes to see Ozzy, they're a little bit startled by the size of Ozzy. But yeah, they get along good.
What about continuing ed? I'll use that word, continuing ed for Ozzy. I mean, does it go like every couple of months, every year? He's
just about done with, again, it's going on to just shy of 2 years of training with him. He's going to have all those AKC certs that he needs for a therapy dog. He's going to have his time that he needs to be a therapy dog. A lot of it's just maintaining with me and him, the handler with the dog himself, and kind of just consistency with him. I think we spoke a little while ago about how he gets along with other dogs. When he has his vest on and he has his leash on, he's working. He's the working dog. He's here for a reason. He's here for you and I. When he takes this vest off and he takes that leash off, he's a 3-year-old puppy that wants to play with other dogs. So.
What about other departments? When they reach out to you for whatever, I mean, are they excited that they want to move forward with their own?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there is an SOP that we have to have in play.
Right.
And then there is a town council or town manager or, there's a lot of hurdles to get through. And I make myself available for those people. But a lot of times, obviously, the people that are reaching out has that passion for dogs and has that passion for the guys and girls he works with. So it's great to see that. To get from point A to point B, I think is a tough hurdle. But I am available for any town or city that needs it.
You know, over the weekend, I was at South County Hospital visiting someone, and they had a therapy dog in there. And it's amazing when that dog went into the rooms, how, like you said, their blood pressure went down.
The reaction.
The beeper wasn't going off about their heart monitors, and it was just like, oh my God, there's a dog.
Puts you at ease.
Right.
We were doing a lot of post-incident stuff that we were speaking of earlier, and a lot of time, guys and girls would see the team 5 of us, come in post-incident, and you're going to be guarded. You kind of know what's coming, and with him coming with us now, everyone's guard goes down. A lot of guys and girls would sit there, hands up, and be ready for what they're going to come. But you can't put your hands up when you have him jump on your lap.
Right. Well, what about the 5 folks that work with you, your team? Anybody get dogs? You brought Ozzy on board?
Not yet, not as of yet.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hope it catches on. I think it's ideal to have an Ozzy in every station.
Yeah.
Right now, I work out of Station 3, so he's again with the same group of guys, same group of people, until I get overtime at other stations, and he'll get those people. He'll get to see those people at other stations, but a lot of times it's only the people I work with.
So let me ask you something, and I like to go back and ask the chief this. What is his rate? Is he is he an hourly dog, or is he on salary?
He's complete voluntary.
Voluntary.
The days of old.
I got to tell you, when you see this dog come into your room, like he did a little while ago, and everybody in the building, it was just, guard down, everybody's good.
You forget about everything else back here that's going on,
right?
And you focus on him, and he focuses on you, which is great.
Well, Ozzy, listen, we got to go to break. Are you okay with that? So we can pay the bills, so you can come back maybe next year? All right, he's good with that. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back with Ozzy and the Lieutenant right after these messages.
Now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. My good friend Ozzy is here with us, badge number 25, Smithfield Fire Department, and Lieutenant Potenza, who is his handler. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Ozzy, you okay with that now? You get the little treats here and there? Attaboy. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of dog he is.
So he's a golden doodle. So he's a 50-50 split of a golden retriever mixed with a poodle.
Wow.
Super popular nowadays. I feel like every dog that I see now in my neighborhood is a golden doodle. It's mixed with a poodle.
What about colors? They all come all different colors?
They do come in different colors. He's a 50-50 split, like I said. They do kind of the more golden doodle mixed with another golden doodle. You get the different colors, or like a Labradoodle. But the breeder we got him from, Cheyenne Farm, in South County area, is known for her golden retrievers.
Okay.
I think she's been breeding golden retrievers for over 30 years, and once she got into the golden doodles, it was a perfect golden retriever to mix with a poodle.
He's got his own Facebook page.
He does have his own Facebook page.
Yeah, it's up on the screen for our folks to start following. Does he post every day?
He does not post every day. He's got to get on there a little bit more often, but he's a busy boy.
A little bit more there, buddy. A little bit more. Well, Lieutenant, I want to thank you for coming on
thanks
today.
for having us.
Thank you for what you do for the men and women with the stress of the jobs day in and day out. I think it's very much needed, whether it's in Rhode Island or throughout the country. I think it's very much needed. Ozzy, you want to give me 5, big guy?
Good boy.
And give me 5?
Give a paw.
You want to give me a 4? Yeah, boy. Thank you for
boy.
coming on the show today. You've been watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. You want more information on these dogs, you follow Ozzy on the Facebook page, and Lieutenant Potenza is available to have any discussions with anybody.
Absolutely.
I think it's very much needed for the men and women who are in the limelight every day.